everyone on YouTube. We are live from Barreira Art and Design. And today, Dot Lung, myself, mother of social dragons, will be doing an Instagram audit of two of our amazing students here at the university. I'd like to introduce you to Fruella Studio. Please wave. She's a multidisciplinary designer, first architect and now product designer that works with amazing different leathers. And then we also have graphic design student Barreira from Barreira A+D and Diseño, Janine S. Raw. Did I say your name right? I apologize if I butchered your name. So what we're gonna do today is actually, sorry, I have like kids coming into my room. Apologies. So what we're gonna do today is actually go over each of your Instagram accounts and see how we can improve it and get more visibility, more reach, and more attention on your amazing designs and photography and all of your body of work. So are you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. So by the way, if you guys are tuning in live, feel free to ask any questions in the comments because we do have moderators that are paying attention to the comments. So if you have any questions about anything related to Instagram and Instagram growth, please leave it in the comments and we'll try to answer your questions at the end of the session. All right, so let's take a look at, if you guys want to follow along while you're at home, we're checking out at Fruella Studio, FRUELA STUDIO, Fruella Studio. And by the way, everyone, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Dot Lung. Dot is short for Dorothy, and Long means dragon in Mandarin. And I'm a social media strategist for brands around the world. And I help rock stars, misfits, and rebels grow their Instagram and online visibility. So if you ever need help with Instagram, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to show you all the ways that you can grow your Instagram. And today, we want to dive into helping Fruella Studio get more visibility and more attention and engagement on her amazing work. Because I just looked through her Instagram account and like, seriously, girl, you have the most amazing designs, leather designs. You have like backpacks, you are doing purses, you have amazing styling on your photos. I don't know if you guys are taking a look at it, but I absolutely love all of your work. And recently I see that you're working with a lot of sustainable leather and recycled fabrics. Is that something, how did you get into designing bags and accessories and stuff?
¿Cómo empezaste a diseñar?
Me ayuda. Hablaré en español. Ok.
Vale.
Después
We
de
can add
mi...
subtitles, don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Durante mi carrera de arquitectura, en los últimos 3 años, quise hacerme mi propio bolso. Entonces, me fui a buscar las pieles y empecé a ver más o menos cómo es que se hace un bolso. Y las partes, las fui cortando, las fui cosiendo y solamente utilizo 2 materiales, que sería el acrílico como estructura y la piel. ¿Ok? Y luego fui evolucionando. Cada vez que hacía un bolso, lo hacía mejor para el segundo y el tercero. Y de un pronto a otro, me puse pues la marca.
Well, I love the brand. I love your branding. It's very minimal. It's like, you know, black and white. It's simple. It's very on trend. I want more people to learn about what you do. And I think it's amazing that you actually, you know, studied architecture and now you are self-taught. You are a self-taught accessories, contemporary crafts maker. I want to start with like the profile, your Instagram bio, because when you are actually creating your Instagram account, you really have to have clarity on who you are making the content for. is this content you're making for yourself? You know, like you're just going to take, you know, pictures of your life and, you know, so you can track your memories? Or is this Instagram account for business, right? Are you trying to like actually sell your bags and sell your merchandise to a greater public? If you are trying to grow an Instagram account for business, you need to think about who your ideal client is. Okay. So can I ask you, who is the ideal person, your dream client that you want to buy your bags and buy your designs? Because I can tell you that I personally would be a client. Maybe it's for me or not, but like I know that this is totally my style and I would wear it everywhere. Like all of the bags they're very minimal, they're very simplistic. But you know, besides me, like what other type of people or demographic would you like to be wearing it? For example, which influencers would you like to be modeling your bags? Do you know of any?
¿Algún influencer o algún cliente?
Es importante siempre mantener que el influencer sea del mismo género, de la misma línea de diseño de lo que uno anda pues mostrando. Entonces son muy pocos los que tienen ese estilo y esa forma de querer ese producto. Entonces hay muy pocos.
Good.
Pero,
fantastic.
Sí.
That's amazing, which means you have a very targeted niche, right? You have a very strong concept of who you actually want to be wearing your products, and you need to be very clear on who that is. I need you, the next time I ask you this, you need to know what their name is, how old they are, where do they live, what type of music do they listen to, what brands do they like, where are they hanging out, where do they hang out online, what type of media are they consuming, who are their friends, you know, what type of, you know, what's their Spotify playlist, what kind of food do they eat? The reason why you need to really figure out who the ideal audience is or who your ideal dream client is so that you can create content for this tribe, for this niche that you're going to build around your brand. Does that make sense? ¿Me entiendes?
Sí, sí, sí,
okay. So I need whenever you make a post, whenever you create a post, it needs to be for this ideal influencer or for this ideal client, okay? So you need to be speaking to this person that you especially like crafted this for them. And this will really position your brand, you know, at a very high level because each of these bags, I know they're handmade. I know you spend a lot of time on them and they're very expensive. These are handmade. The design is extremely elegant and you can find a nice positioning for your brand with the right, if you know who your target audience is, right? So let's go over the last few posts because I see you're getting very low engagement. Like your engagement is very, very low. You had like 18 likes on the last post and you have 1,392 followers, which is I know it's just a starter account, but it's extremely low. Some of the posts, like the last post, it had 97 likes, which is, you know, a lot more. And this is a picture of you, which means people really like to see your face. You have 97 likes versus a picture that doesn't show your face, which is, you know, very artistic, but it only got 18 likes. So just from looking at the data, you can understand that the people that are following your account really like to see, imagery of somebody wearing your products, maybe even you or a model, because the post after that is also very artistic and it only has 26 likes. So just by looking, very rapidly, I can already tell the content that's working better is content that actually has a person in it. When you say I'm Fruella, soy Fruella in this post, you can really develop more of a storytelling. Here, you're only saying your name, but you don't tell the story of how you started. What is your brand about? I want you to share your story. I want you to tell people where you're from. You're from Costa Rica. Wave that, loud and proud, and say now, you're originally from Costa Rica, but you're, studying in Valencia, and how this brand came about. I want you to share your brand, because your brand story and how you started is how you're going to be different, how you're going to stand out from all the other leather brands that are out there, because there are many people that are creating leather bags, but there's not many of them that are from Costa Rica, that are studying design in Valencia, and that have a specific ideal target audience. So your homework is to figure out who your ideal target audience is. I want you to figure out your origin story, so that the next time you post a picture of yourself, it's not just, I'm Cruella. I know it's very artistic, but unless you're Kim Kardashian and everybody knows you, can you be like, oh, I'm Kim Kardashian and a million people are going to like it? Nobody knows who Pharrella is. You have to start sharing that story and telling people who you are, okay?
Yes.
Because you are the brand and you are the designer behind the creations. And the more that you're going to be able to share your story and really tell the story of why you created each bag and what inspired you to do it, and all the beautiful things and the love that you put into each bag, I need to feel that in the post. Because right now, I can feel like some distance, because it's not very clear on what the brand is all about. I don't know what the emotion of the brand is. What do you want me to feel when I look at your Instagram account? So when you're thinking about like the next post that you're going to do, make sure you're telling a story with each post. Okay, tell a story. Tell about what I actually do like this post that is about this design, this bag that you created. It has more of like, the situation that you realize that you're passionate about starting ideas from scratch and using what you have at hand. That's beautiful. More storytelling like that about you as an artist and as a creator, and sharing your struggles. Share the problem, what the situation is, and how you like overcame it and what the result was. That's how you approach design. When you're designing things, you are approaching design with a problem to solve, and then there's a plan, there's how you strategically executed it, and then the final result. So I think for every bag you can explain using the storytelling formula. Okay, so you can use the problem, situation, the plan, and the happy ending. Every post, I want you to do that. So I'm going to move on and check out Janine. Jan. Is that, did I say that right? Jan.
And first, there's a question for you from the people who is watching this live.
Okay.
So they are asking, how do you get together different areas and make them work if you are a multidisciplinary designer with different kind of visuals?
That's a great question. And as creatives, we are all over the place. Like literally, we have many different interests. We like many different disciplines. And my best advice is, if you are doing it on Instagram, you really need to niche down and be an expert at one thing. So if your expertise is multidisciplinary design, what kind of multidisciplinary design? What are the materials that you're the expert at using? So think very hard about how much content you can produce in your area of expertise. So are you able to, like, if you're using mixed media, are you going to be able to, design all leather all the time, but like mix that with everything? So you're an expert like using mixed media in leathers, or which mixed media expert are you in? If you want to be an expert, you can only be an expert at one thing, right? Like look at doctors. Like if you're having, heart problems, you're going to go see a cardiologist, because a cardiologist is an expert at, the science of heart, right? You're not going to go see a regular general doctor. So same thing with designers. You need to be very specialized in what you design. So that's how you can really make your Instagram account very specific to your craft. So what I want to do now is go onto Jeanne's profile, and then we can have a conversation with any of your questions that you might both have about your Instagram. So if you guys all want to follow along, I'm looking at Jeanne's Instagram. It's JEANNERAS_RA. So Jan, do you want to introduce yourself to all of our audience members?
Well, I'm an Italian, and I was born in Madagascar, and I'm studying graphic design in Barreira in Valencia right now.
Okay, and what is your goal with your Instagram account?
Well, I'm falling in love with portrait photography, and
I can see that.
And I would like to use my Instagram account as a portfolio, so that people can get to know my work and my philosophy. And
well, Instagram is a perfect platform to use for a portfolio. It's a great place to store all of your work. And the thing is, you can build it, but it doesn't mean people are going to come, right? So you can build an amazing website, you can build an amazing Instagram, but if you don't have anyone looking at it, what's the point, right? Unless it's just for yourself. But if I'm assuming that you want people to look at your portfolio, would that be a goal of yours, to get more people to engage with your photography?
Yeah, definitely.
So first of all, it says on your Instagram bio, we need to optimize it, right? Because it's very vague. It's very, very vague. Like it's like it says you're 24 years old. There's a flag of Italy and Madagascar, and then there's like 3 emojis. It's very vague, right? There's a photo sign, there's a mic. So I assume you sing. Are you a singer?
Yeah.
And cool. Maybe you can sing for us. And then you travel, right? So that's like, for me, because I'm a total Instagram like nerd, and I can figure that out. But if you actually want people to hire you for your photography, these just having emojis is not going to cut it. So on your bio, you actually need to state very clearly who you are. So if you want to get hired for photography work, I would put in your name, Jeanne, photographer based in Valencia, for example, because you need people in Valencia to hire you, right? So you would want to put that in there. If this is something, you want to dabble in on, maybe you want to explore it. Maybe you're not a professional photographer yet, but everyone's a photographer, right? So if you want to become a professional photographer, put that in your title. I said I'm the mother of social dragons in my name because I wanted to be like the mother of dragons. So that's what I became. So be careful when you put in your name, because if that's something you want to do and you want to achieve in your life, go ahead and put it right there. And it'll motivate you to work towards doing that. So if you really want to grow your Instagram account for photography, put in the name like Jeanne, photographer, portrait photographer. Then you can say on the second line, doing portrait, I take portrait photography for what type of client. Okay, so the first, you want to say who you are, and then you want to say how you help people. Okay, so how are you serving your audience or your followers or your clients? Okay, and who they are. So how do you help and who they are? Do you know who your ideal client is? Like, what type of, are you going to do portrait photography for everybody, or is there a specific type of people that you want to take portraits of? Are they
girl portrait photography, like
female?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's amazing. You should put that in your profile, because then you can say, Jan, portrait photographer for women based in Valencia. That means anybody that looks at your profile that's in Valencia, that's a woman, they might follow you because if they're interested in having their portrait taken by you. Okay. Not only, it's not about getting new followers, but it's about awareness. So people that are browsing for photographers in Valencia, you would come up in the search, right? If you have that in your name.
Yeah.
So and then on your profile, you also have like Estudia Diseño Gráfico in Barreira. Like,
Yes,
if you're trying to get photography jobs, I would put, you're studying photography, or you don't even put you're studying. I mean, it's irrelevant if you're studying or not. It's totally irrelevant. If you're going to use this for business, just put what you want to do business with or for. So let's update your profile. So now you have like Jan, photographer, because you don't even put your last name. You put like S Raw. It's like ambiguous. You might as well just delete that, right? You should just put your artist name. Like what's your brand name that you like want to be known as? Do you want to be known as Jan photographer or whatever name you want and put photographer?
Okay.
Exploring female photography, female portrait photography, or I want to capture beautiful women based in Valencia. And, check out my portrait photographies below. What is your call to action? So if you have room in your bio, you should ask people to take an action on your bio, like either tag me, click this link to sign up for my newsletter, call me on WhatsApp. If you need a photographer, feel free to contact me. How are people going to contact you if they're a woman and they want their portrait photography? So I could be an ideal client for you, right? I'm a woman. I might want some portrait photography.
Yeah.
If I wanted that, your profile right now, it doesn't say that. I don't know that I can contact you. I don't know that you're a photographer. I just know that you're 24 years old. I don't even know that you're a photographer. I think you're a graphic designer.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so now what I want to do is, so now that you guys both have some homework to do on your profiles, let's answer any questions that you guys have or any questions that are in the audience. And I want to talk about how you can get more engagement on your amazing posts, because your photography is amazing. And I think more women, not people, just women, which is great. Women in Valencia should know all about you if they're interested in getting their portraits taken. And people, you know what's a good client for you are professional people like me that, we need photos of us for our Instagram. We need photos, for our press releases, for work, whatever it is. Like, find a specific profile of woman that is always going to maybe need photography for their business or life. Because you can't always be like, unless you want to be like a wedding photographer, which is a whole niche in itself. Like in wedding photography, there's many niches. What I'm getting at is I want you to figure out what niche of photography you actually want to get in.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Do you have any idea? I know, I love how you already knew you want to do women and you want to do portrait photography. Can you get a little even more specific on like who your ideal client is?
I would love to do like studio photography. I've seen a lot of works about like beauty photography.
Beauty.
Yeah, and I love that. I really love that. That would be my goal.
I love that you love that, because that should definitely be your goal, because you love it. So in order to find your ikigai, which is a Japanese philosophy meaning like your life's purpose, we should always try and work at getting paid for doing things that we love and what we're good at. So if you know that you love photography and you love like the type of beauty and cosmetic photography, perhaps, this is where you should really niche down into. And you can even say that on your Instagram profile, that you specialize in beauty portrait photography. That's even better because it doesn't matter. Like the more niche down you go, the better. Because even if like I wasn't looking for a beauty photography, but I needed a photographer in Valencia, I could still call you, you know, because I know you're good at what you do. So get specific as possible with who your dream clients are. On my Instagram profile, I put, you know, I'm an Instagram strategist for rock stars, misfits, and rebels. So if you identify with rock star, or if you identify that you're a misfit or a rebel, you're my ideal target audience. You're the person that I want to work with and, you know, hang out with, basically, because you always want to see how you can work with people that are like you and that you can enjoy and have fun doing work with, right? So let's see if there's any more questions in the YouTube live, and if there aren't, let's go over what you can do to get more engagement right after you post.
There are another few questions. Somebody's asking, how can I engage my followers and make them interact with me?
How can you engage your followers? That's a wonderful question because everybody asks me this same question. And this is my answer. If you want to get engagement and get more likes and get more shares and get more comments, guess what you have to do? You have to give more engagement. You have to give more and more and more to get more. So before you wonder, hey, why am I not getting any likes on my post? Why am I not getting comments? My question to you is, are you liking other people's posts? Are you commenting? Are you building community? Are you, you know, building relationships? Because the secret to social media networking is the stronger and more relationships you build, the more engagement you will get consistently on your posts. So how are you guys doing? Jan, are you interacting with women that are in the cosmetic beauty industry on Instagram? If this is your niche, then you should go and engage and comment with the women that are in this community that could be your potential clients.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Are you, yeah, how many, I have a question for the both of you. How many times a day and how often are you reaching out to new people in your target audience on Instagram? Do you start new direct messages with anybody?
I didn't do that because I'm really shy and I'm trying to work on it, like in this period, in this moment, because I realized that it's really important. And like, well, I'm working on it. Yeah.
Yes, shyness is something that you can definitely work on and overcome. I personally was terribly shy most of my life until, you know, I had a rebranding in 6th grade. So when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I told myself, I am not going to be a shy person because I'm not going to get ahead by not being, you know, strong enough or confident enough to ask and to make new friendships and build my network and get to know more people. So I decided to force myself to get outside of my comfort zone and say hi to everybody. Like this was like literally a challenge that I told myself to do. Also, I did this when I went to university as well. When I went to college and I had no friends, I just said, I'm going to say hi and like wave to anybody that crossed me like on campus. I just was like, hi, like I, you know, knew them, and they would say hi back. It was amazing. It was like literally a science experiment. And that's how you can slowly make friends in real life. But guess what? This strategy also works on Instagram. On Instagram, you really want to be opening up conversations with people you would like to connect with, people that you admire, people that you want to be friends with. And you really want to open up a conversation, not by saying, hey, like my post. Never do that. Or, hey, buy my person or buy my things. No, what you want to do is actually build a friendship, build a relationship, and see how see what things you have in common with each other, and how you can actually, build a relationship based on being interested in the other person. Believe it or not, this stuff works. If you try and add 5 people a day, talk to 5 new people a day on Instagram, by the end of the month, you're going to have 150 new people that you've reached out to on Instagram that are in your same niche, that might be your future collaborators, or that might even be your future friend. You never know. And believe it or not, they might be your future client, but you're not going to know unless you do the outreach. Okay, so that's a way that you can get engagement, not only with new people, but let me tell you how engagement works. If you engage with somebody else's stories, or if you direct message them, you can get engagement that way and build your relationship even more, so that they will engage back with you on your post every time you post. And it literally works because you feel an affinity, you feel trust. The more that you're having intimate conversations in direct message or through stories with another person, they are going to see your posts more often come up on Instagram, just because you're having these one-on-one conversations. So if you want to consistently get engagement, I recommend you to go into DM, have conversations with as many people that are already liking your content, or that you want to like your content, and they're going to all of a sudden start engaging with your content, because they're going to start seeing it pop up, and they're going to be like, oh, hey, I had a nice conversation with that person. I'm going to give them a like, or I'm going to comment. If that's what you're after, you need to give first. So you need to give, and then you get. Okay, so always extend out your olive branch or your olive tree to, be interested and have a genuine, meaningful conversation with somebody that could potentially be your client, or could potentially be a friend, or even a collaborator. You just never know. And this is actually how I built my entire business, is just literally people that I had direct messages with on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. It works on all platforms. It's not just only on Instagram. It works on LinkedIn. It works on Facebook. Anytime that you can get someone's attention one-on-one, that is like the best way to really build your relationship, so that you can build your community and tribe online. Wow, I feel like I'm talking a lot. So, do you guys have any other questions? That was like a long answer to like one question. How do I get more engagement? And honestly, that was like a long answer, but there are other ways. But this is like my top answer is, well, you have to give engagement to get engagement. And now here's, I guess you want to hear more of like the hack, right? Like, how can you like hack to get more engagement? Well, one way to do that is right after you post any post on Instagram, you need to get as much engagement as possible right away. Okay. The reason why is because the way the algorithm works on Instagram is that Instagram only wants to show the best content on its feed. It doesn't want to show crappy content. So the algorithm works fantastic. It's able to classify what's good content and what's bad content just based on engagement. So your goal is to get as much engagement in the beginning, because if you get as much engagement in the beginning, it signals Instagram that, hey, this is good content, and I'm going to feed it out to more channels, more news feeds. If it doesn't get that much engagement, then you're shit out of luck. You're not going to get your content into as many news feeds as you could have if you had more engagement, because the more engagement you get in the beginning, the more news feeds it will send out, because it first only sends out, your post only goes out like to 10% of your followers or less. If it gets good engagement, then it might be sent out to 20% of your followers. So a trick is to get as much engagement as possible right after you post. So if you're a social dragon in my Domestica course, we have an engagement group that goes on where right after we post, we have 250 people, you know, in our WhatsApp group, all in the design industry, all in arts and illustration, that are maybe in the same niche, liking each other's content right away after we post, so that if at all like this, you know, idea is true or this myth is true, we can experience a little bit more of a boost on our Instagram accounts or on our Instagram posts than if we were just doing it alone. And this is a lot of how marketing agencies work internally, how they are able to organically growth hack some Instagram content. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Wait, because there are other questions. Just a moment.
Okay.
So how can I make my followers become my customers?
Turning your followers into clients. Well, how does it happen in real life? Okay. Everything that happens on Instagram is like if it was real life. First, people have to know about you, right? So if they don't know about you, they're not going to be able to buy from you. So you're asking about your current followers. Your current followers already know about you, meaning they're already very warm leads. If they're still following you, if they're engaging with you, that means they might even be hot leads because they are really highly engaged with your content and they're liking what you're putting out. So if you already have your followers that are hyper engaged, meaning they're ready, they might be ready to buy, it's time to convert them. So in terms of creating content that converts, this would be sales conversion type of content that really engages them emotionally so that they want to take action and buy. What I mean by that is you have to paint a picture of what their life could be with your product, or you know what the problem is going to continue if they don't have your product, right? You need to really make them feel the desire. You really need to get them to desire your product and know exactly how it's going to improve their life. Okay, if they really need your product because they believe that it's going to improve their life, it's going to make them, you know, have satisfaction, they're going to buy your product. So what kind, in terms of the question that was asked, can you be a little bit more specific about what type of business you're in? Like, what do you actually want to sell to your followers? And maybe I can give you some ideas on how to do that. For myself, I actually go into, I always am able to sell in direct message. It's the way that works best for me, because through direct message I'm able to, you know, get them onto a video call, or I can talk to them on the phone. So in any case, if you're selling high ticket products, you know, if your products are over a couple $100, you know, you might need to do some one-on-one conversation with them before they're going to buy. I don't think if you're selling, you know, a product that's, you know, over 300 euro, it's not so easy to just get them to click on a link and buy, right? Unless it's like a really well-known brand, you know, it's like Chanel or Prada, like we know the brand guarantee. But if it's a product that, you know, you don't have any reviews or testimonials, what exactly are you trying to sell? Because it really depends on if it's, you know, an expensive product that is going to take some more time for people to think about it and purchase it, and they need more time to decide. Or is it like a product that is like an iPhone case that costs like $10 and you either want it or you don't. What type of product are you trying to sell?
Okay, next question. How do you start a conversation? Sending them a message saying just hi by DM?
So how do you start a conversation? Well, a really wonderful way to start conversations is by asking a question. Okay. So if you are genuinely interested in the person you're contacting on Instagram because you saw their feed and you really, really like them, or you saw that they're also in Valencia and you want to reach out and maybe grab a coffee or not, whatever it is, there's a reason why you're talking to that person. And you should know exactly why you're interested to talk to that person and find a common ground with them. So you should do some research on this person before you just say hi, right? You should find out where they hang, like on their feed, they probably reveal a lot of information. Maybe they share what music they like. Maybe they share where they went on vacation last or what restaurant they were just at. And you can ask about it in the conversation. Hey, I saw that you were, just at that tapas place. I love that place. What's your favorite drink that you get there? Mine is da da da. So the way to open up, you want to ask open-ended questions. So you want to get to know them more. If you're having a sales conversation, you want to have them tell you all the problems that they're having so that you can learn more about them and figure out how you as a designer or a service provider can help them. So whenever you're having a conversation, never talk about yourself. It should always be focused on the other person and getting them to talk. And all you have to do is listen and ask questions. Always. That is the only thing that you should focus on if you're trying to be, a good conversationalist, is somebody that knows how to ask really good questions because they're listening very well to what the other person is saying and they're truly interested. You can tell when people really aren't interested in what you're saying because it goes in one ear and out the other. So just try and do some research on the person and see how you can find common ground with them and ask them a lot of questions, open-ended questions, and see what you guys have in common and start building a friendship on your common interests and see where it goes from there. Never ever just like ask for something right away. You really want to warm them up to what you might be asking them later.
Okay.
Yo tengo otra pregunta. Para los nuevos hashtags.
Okay. For hashtags, what about hashtags? This is hashtags for your Instagram posts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read and I saw a lot of videos in which they were saying that like there are popular hashtags that you should use, but then you should use also like popular or less popular, so that that is because like in the feed there are a lot of pictures in my case. So if I use only popular hashtag, they can get lost. But I didn't get. How do I know if how do I decide whether I should hashtag or not?
So with hashtags, the reason why it's so important when you're growing, like when you're starting out, you really need to do some hashtag research in your niche industry to see which are the popular hashtags in like fashion or accessory design, for example, and which are more niche down. I wouldn't say they're unpopular or popular. There are definitely hashtags that people follow. So think about your ideal target client and think about what hashtags they might be following, right? So because now on Instagram, you can follow hashtags and only get content about this hashtag. When you're hashtagging your post, you want to use relevant hashtags that are related to your post. You don't want to be using the same hashtags all the time on repeat. You want to and you're able to have 30 hashtags. So what I recommend is like having 10 broader hashtags that are like more broad in your niche, and then 10 medium ones, and 10 hashtags that are super niche down to specifically maybe maybe it's a branded hashtag. That's a hashtag that just your brand is using. So you can use apps like lead tags, LEETAGS, which is a hashtag app that will tell you all the different sizes of the hashtag. So if there's like a hashtag that has like over 1 million hashtags, it might be really difficult for you to rank in the top 9, because at the end of the day, what you want to do with the hashtags is try to rank in the top 9. You want to try to appear as one of the top images or videos in this hashtag. So what do you actually want to be known for, I think is the first question. If you know what you want to be known for, then you know which sort of hashtags you want to get in on the top 9. So if you know what you want to be ranked for, you can start doing research on which type of hashtags you could be using that are really niche specific, and then some medium one, and then some a little bit more broad, depending on how broad you want to be searched for. For example, like if you do hashtag summer, like there's probably 20 million people doing hashtag summer. So it's kind of a waste of a hashtag, because you don't need to be searched for summer, right? Unless you do. Do you want to be known for summer, hashtag summer? If not, then don't use a broad hashtag like that.
Okay, thanks.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And there's a last question. They are asking, is there any free app that monitors your Instagram? I mean, so that you can schedule your posts and the app does it on its own.
So there's an app called Latergram that's free, I believe. At least most of it is free. I use a social media management platform called Sprout Social, and it's paid, but it does enable you to schedule your Instagram posts and your Instagram stories. However, if you are going to be doing like a carousel post, or if it's an IGTV post, you can only schedule a reminder. It won't actually auto post for you. And that's because Instagram wants to keep all of its posts, instant and through your mobile. And it doesn't work with certain APIs that, it doesn't do auto posting on Instagram. It does for Sprout Social if it's like a single post, and it will automatically post it. But I think you can take a look at Latergram, that you're able to schedule a reminder as well. And maybe now it actually does post, but I'm not sure about that.
Okay. That's it, no?
All right.
No more questions.
All right. Well,
No entiendo.
if you guys have any more questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm at @Lung, at DOTLUNG on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. So feel free to contact me through direct message. I answer all of my messages myself. And feel free to just send me a DM. You can check out my course. I go over an Instagram strategy. It's for beginners. I also have an advanced program that if you're already selling on Instagram and you want to sell more, you can definitely contact me through DM, and I can give you more information about that. And it's been a really good time getting to know the both of you. And I wish you all the luck in the world. Do your homework. Get your Instagram files sorted, and I can't wait to watch you grow.
Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a wonderful night. Bye.